What's up guys, Dan Trevini here, I hope you're all well. As ever, before we get started, if you could do me a huge favour and smash the like button and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is a bit of a lastminute.com video because I did have a video all edited, ready to upload today, all about the property market and the crash, but that's going to have to wait another week because I really wanted to talk about this subject while it was fresh in my mind and I had all of the words really at the tip of my tongue. And it is all about being resilient. If you watch my video from last week, which was all about overcoming hurdles, there's going to be some repeat of what I said in that video, but I really want to talk about that word resilient. Now, Google it or look it up in a dictionary. It pretty much means a person is able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult circumstances or conditions. And there probably hasn't been a more appropriate word if you are a business owner, if you are self-employed, or if you are a property investor or an investor in some other sector. And one of the main reasons why it's so fresh on my mind is because I actually went to a friend's hotel / restaurant / function venue last night, and I was just overwhelmed with the amount of work that I know he's put in and the end result and how busy it was and how he was able to create an environment which attracted, in these really difficult times, people to come along, feel safe and enjoy themselves, all within our tier 2 coronavirus restrictions. And when he did have 5 minutes spare and he was able to sit down and enjoy a quick drink with us, I did ask him, what's it been like? And he did tell me about the struggle and the hard work and some of the negativity that he's had towards what he's trying to do in his venue. And it really did motivate me to sort of look inside and look what we've done in this market over the last 12 months. And I also talked to some other friends who are in different industries and own different businesses in different sectors. And it's great to hear from successful people when they have been through very, very difficult times and that they do not take it easily. They do not lay down and just allow things to happen. They shift and evolve and they move to become what is effectively a very resilient type of person or business to move with the times and to capitalize on where the small little nuggets of opportunity are. And I know it's not been easy for everyone. It's been difficult for everyone, but I know for some others it's been even more difficult. And there may be some people watching this video who are thinking about giving up or closing or stopping investing, whatever it may be. And really, I wanted to give you my steer on this year and how my own attitude towards being resilient to the hurdles and everything that can come up against you, that you can turn them around. And it doesn't always mean that you're going to make loads of money straight away. And it doesn't mean that you directly do an action to create a source of income, which I've talked about many, many times on other videos about creating indirect sources of income. One of the biggest sectors hit and in this pandemic has been the hospitality sector. And as many of you know, watching my videos and have been following me for a few years, will know that I like to buy pubs for investment and development purposes because they represent a great pound for pound return and you don't have a huge amount of competition. So that sector doesn't see massive price rises when we see lots of new buyers inflating the residential market, kind of like what we are at the moment with the stamp duty holiday and people trying to take advantage of it. And to give you a broad overview on how the market is inflated, I am literally about to launch a property to sell. I wasn't intended to sell it. I've done a video on it, on the refurb. But because the market is dictating that I could potentially achieve around 10% more than probably what I could have done pre-lockdown, then I'm absolutely going to try and capitalize on that. I'm an investor, I am here to make money. And it's crazy because think about it, people are prepared to pay around 10% more for a property to save 1% on stamp duty. And people aren't stupid. The materialistic reason for that is because the majority of people buy property with lending, and the lending of 65, 75, 85% loan to value means that the increase in purchase price doesn't really have a huge impact on the amount of money that people need to put into the deal. And the amount of money that people put into the deal, they don't see it as lost money. It's an investment, it's equity in the deal. Whereas the cost of stamp duty is a cost. And even though you should calculate it as part of the overall budget and therefore the return, people do see that as a lost cost. So therefore, they have a reduction in that cost. They're happy to pay a little bit more. But the two just don't compute if you are looking at an overall cost comparison. But unfortunately, a lot of the retail investors don't look at that. So coming back to this word resilient and being resilient in the market. Now, there's loads of things within property, and I am going to generalize that you will find very, very quickly that you have to be resilient. You have to be able to withstand, recover quickly in difficult circumstances and conditions. And that is day in, day out in property. Just this week, I have had 2 really large hurdles come up, and it feels like the world is ending, even now after so many years and so many issues. But I stuck to the lessons that I'd learned and the experience that I'd gained, and you ride the wave and you be resilient, and eventually they have resolved themselves just in time for the weekend. It was fantastic. And it enables you to not only did I make rash decisions or change strategy, I stuck to my guns and allowed the process of what I put in place to take its natural course, and I got the end result that I wanted to. More specifically, being resilient can actually show itself in many different forms. And going back to pubs, a lot of you know that I have some under construction at the moment, and one of them we have retained part of the premises as a commercial element to trade it as a pub and coffee house. And that was the plan that I was working on, but we decided to relaunch it post the first lockdown. Now, whereas a lot of businesses weren't reopening, a lot of pubs and restaurants and hospitality venues were folding completely, I decided that it was now the right time to open up in a disruptive way, offering a different type of product in a different environment to try and capitalize on what was going to be a difficult but new type of market. And I'm really pleased to say that it's gone very well. I've got a really good team in there and a really good general manager. But that attitude to not just close the doors, but to delay opening the pub for 6 to 12 months, which many people would have done, I decided not to do that. I decided that even if it wasn't going to make money, the right thing to do in the industry when people were closing their doors, cutting costs, and basically turning their back on their customers, and I'm not talking about everyone, but we decided to try and service those customers. And in November, when we went into lockdown 2, a lot of pubs closed. A lot of people were putting on there that if they get loads of pre-orders, they'll do takeaways, and they were putting the ownership on the customers. And I was trying to understand the market, because this is a market that I haven't got a huge amount of experience in. And I had a chat with my general manager, and we decided to stay open and do takeaway. And we didn't do takeaway in a limited trading period. We stayed open from like 8 o'clock in the morning to 5, 6 o'clock in the evening to try and service the people that were now going to be working from home or restricted for where they could go, so they could come out and try and obtain a little bit of normality by buying a takeaway coffee or beer. Did it make us money? The answer is no. But did it enable me to keep the staff topped up at 100% wage? Yes, it did. So the staff were really pleased. Where people were being furloughed and only receiving 80% or less in some circumstances, they were able to earn what they earned the previous month. And it wasn't due to the fact that I was feeling really generous. It was because we dug in as a team and we decided to make an offer into the customers. And we didn't put the ownership on the customers, we put the ownership on us to get the product right and the service right. And we were able to do that. And this is what I talk about being resilient in detail. We didn't create what we created in November to make loads of money. It was an indirect route to service our existing customers, to keep the staff at 100% wage, and to potentially gain some new customers who maybe hadn't visited us before. And that level of attitude towards business or customers or development or investing where you do what you think is the right thing to show growth, even though you might not necessarily get a direct impact on your bottom line straight away, is what being resilient in this market is all about. So for those of you who are thinking of not buying that property, or putting off doing that development, or not starting that business, or not reopening your doors to your customers, I would strongly suggest you think again and you become the 1% who is there to service your customers, even though you're going to have to put the hours in, and even though it might cost you a little bit of money, because in the future, when things go back to normal, you never know, those customers might become big fans of you and your place. You may well have more loyal customers long term, which will impact your bottom line longer. I hope you found that video useful. I know it's a little bit of a repeat of what I did last week, but I felt the urge to do it based on what I saw last night and talking to other business owners. I felt really inspired to do it. So I hope you guys feel as energized as I do in the lead up to Christmas. This is the last video I'll probably do before Christmas. So have a great day, and I hope you all enjoy it, even though you probably can't see everyone you wanted to. But that's it from me. Hope you found the content rich. I'll catch you all.